Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to reveal incredibly rare pennies that have sold for jaw-dropping amounts of money. From minting errors to unique variations, these pennies have become collectors' treasures. The 1999 US penny might seem like just another coin in your pocket, but for coin collectors, this particular year holds some fascinating secrets. Whether you've been collecting for years or you're just getting started, the 1999 penny is one you'll want to pay attention to. But why? Well, there's more to this penny than meets the eye. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might just be looking at your 1999 pennies in a whole new light. Let's start with the basics. The 1999 penny features the familiar design that's been a staple in US currency for decades: the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. These designs have been in use since 1909, and by 1999, they were as recognizable as ever. However, the 1999 penny is notable for some interesting reasons, especially when it comes to coin errors and variations. So, what exactly makes this coin stand out? The most exciting part of the 1999 penny is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors are one of the biggest attractions for coin collectors because they can drastically increase the value of an otherwise common coin. The 1999 penny is no exception. Some of the most valuable 1999 pennies are those that have errors, such as the infamous doubled die error. So, what is a doubled die, and why is it so important? A doubled die occurs when the coin die, used to imprint the design onto the penny, shifts slightly during the minting process. This misalignment causes parts of the design to appear doubled. It can happen on the front, obverse, of the coin, where you'll see the text, Liberty, or, In God We Trust, doubled. Sometimes, it happens on Lincoln's portrait, where you might notice a subtle second image of his features. It's important to look carefully at the details because even a small shift can make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In particular, the 1999 penny saw a number of double die errors, especially on the obverse of the coin. If you come across a 1999 penny where the lettering appears more than once or blurry, you may have found a valuable error. The 1999 double die obverse penny is one of the most well-known and sought-after error coins among collectors, and it can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $1,000, depending on the quality of the coin and the extent of the doubling. But how do you know if your 1999 penny is one of these valuable pieces? First, you'll want to inspect the text carefully. Look at the year, 1999, the word Liberty, and In God We Trust. If these words look blurry or seem to have been struck multiple times, you might have a double die error. You can also check Lincoln's portrait for signs of doubling. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to zoom in on these details and examine them under good lighting. If you spot a doubling effect, then you've probably found something very special, but there's more. While the double die error is the most well-known, there are other errors to look for in the 1999 penny. For example, there are struck-through errors, which occur when foreign material, such as dirt, grease, or debris, gets into the minting press during production. This can leave strange marks or indentations on the coin, making it unique. These types of errors can also increase the coin's value, depending on the severity of the error. Another error to look for in the 1999 penny is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in the design being printed off-center. Off-center errors are less common but still valuable, and they can make your 1999 penny a rare find. If you notice that the design is not aligned properly, or that part of the coin is blank with no imprint, it could be an off-center strike worth keeping. But what about the condition of the penny? If your 1999 penny is in excellent condition, that can also make a difference. Coins in uncirculated or near-mint condition are always worth more than those that have been heavily circulated. A 1999 penny that looks shiny, crisp, and clean, with no wear and tear, will have a much higher value than a penny that's been worn down by years of use. The more pristine the coin, the more likely it is to appeal to collectors, who often look for well-preserved examples. If you do find a 1999 penny with an error, your next step is to get it professionally graded. Grading is the process of evaluating the coin's condition and authenticity, and it can have a huge impact on its value. Professional grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can give you a precise evaluation of your coin, and a high-grade 1999 penny with a double die error could sell for a premium price at auction or in the collector market. Now, you might be wondering, how valuable can a 1999 penny really be? Well, the value depends on a few factors, namely, the type of error, the rarity of the error, and the condition of the coin. A typical 1999 penny in average condition is worth about 1 cent. However, if you find a 1999 penny with a double die error in excellent condition, you could see it sell for anywhere from $50 to over $1,000. The rarer the error and the better the condition, the more you can expect it to fetch. There are even cases of 1999 pennies with certain errors selling for several $1,000s, especially if they're in mint or near mint condition. But don't just take my word for it, there's one 1999 penny that has a particularly fascinating story behind it. This penny, found with a rare minting error, sold at auction for a price that might just shock you. It's one of the most expensive 1999 pennies ever sold, and it's tied to an incredible tale of how the penny was discovered and how much it ultimately fetched. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll reveal the jaw-dropping details of this record-breaking penny and what made it so valuable. Until then, keep an eye out for those 1999 pennies in your spare change. Whether they have a double die, struck through error, or another minting mistake, they could be worth far more than you think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more exciting coin collecting tips. Who knows, your next 1999 penny might just be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. The 1997 US penny might seem like just another copper coin, but if you dig a little deeper, you might be surprised to find that it holds some hidden value. While most people simply view it as 5 cents, this penny is often overlooked by casual coin collectors. However, for those who know what to look for, the 1997 penny can be far more interesting, and potentially more valuable, than it appears at first glance. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1997 penny special. This year's penny still features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design has been in place since 1909, and it continued through the 1990s. By the time 1997 rolled around, this design was well known and well established. However, what makes the 1997 penny stand out from other years is the potential for hidden errors or certain unique features that make it valuable to collectors. The most common factor that could make a 1997 penny worth more than just 5 cents is the presence of minting errors. One of the most sought-after errors in pennies is the double die error. A double die occurs when the coin die, which stamps the design onto the coin, is misaligned during the minting process. This results in a doubling effect on certain parts of the design, whether it's on the text or even on Lincoln's portrait. If you have a 1997 penny and notice that the lettering on the front, like Liberty or In God We Trust, appears doubled or blurry, you might just have a rare and valuable error coin. It's also worth noting that double die errors don't always appear in the same spots. You might find doubling on Lincoln's portrait, or it could be the text around the coin, like the year 1997 or the phrase E pluribus unum. Depending on the location and severity of the doubling, the value of the penny can increase dramatically. Coins with noticeable doubling in key areas, such as the date or the word Liberty, are more likely to attract collectors and may be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on the quality of the coin and the error. But the 1997 penny isn't just about the double die errors. Another type of error you might find is the struck-through error. This occurs when debris, like dust, grease, or even a piece of metal, becomes lodged in the minting press during the coin's creation. As a result, the coin may have strange marks, indents, or discolorations. A penny struck through foreign debris can be unique and valuable if the error is noticeable and dramatic enough. Keep an eye out for coins with these kinds of unusual features, as they might be worth more than you would expect. Another thing to consider is the condition of the penny. Just like with any other collectible, the value of a coin is often determined by its condition. A 1997 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition is worth more than one that's been heavily worn or scratched by circulation. The cleaner, shinier, and more pristine the coin, the more likely it is to have a higher value among collectors. A mint condition 1997 penny could fetch a premium over the typical face value, especially if it's well preserved and hasn't been tarnished over the years. So, how can you tell if your 1997 penny is valuable? Start by inspecting it carefully. Look closely at the details on both the front and back of the coin. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for any signs of doubling or other errors. Pay attention to the key areas like the lettering on the front and the columns on the reverse. If anything seems off, like blurry or doubled text, then you might have a valuable coin on your hands. Also, take note of the coin's overall condition. If it's in great shape, it could be worth more than you think. If you do find a rare 1997 penny with an error, what should you do next? The best course of action is to have the coin professionally graded. Getting the coin graded by a numismatist or expert can help determine its authenticity and condition, which can drastically affect its value. Professional grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can provide you with an official grade, and this can make it easier to sell or trade the coin in the future. A well-graded 1997 penny with a doubling error could potentially sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on its rarity and condition, but don't think that the 1997 penny is the only penny worth looking at. While it's one of the more intriguing years to watch for errors, there are other coins from different years that can be just as valuable. In fact, some of the most expensive pennies are those that were minted in earlier years, especially if they have unique minting errors. However, that's a story for another time, and there's one 1997 penny in particular that has a particularly fascinating tale behind it, a penny that fetched an extraordinary price at auction due to an unexpected error. Here's a little cliffhanger for you. A certain 1997 penny, found with a rare error, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping amount. What makes this story even more intriguing is the unlikely series of events that led to its discovery, and you won't believe how much it sold for. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll reveal the shocking details of this record-breaking sale and how you might be able to find a similar penny in your own change jar. In the meantime, remember that your 1997 pennies could be hiding something valuable. Whether it's a double die, struck through error, or simply a well-preserved specimen, it's always worth taking a second look. If you're serious about coin collecting, the 1997 penny might just be your ticket to discovering something extraordinary. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks on how to spot rare and valuable coins. Happy hunting, and we'll see you next time. The 1996 US penny might seem like just another year in the endless stream of coinage, but there's more to it than you might expect. It's easy to overlook such a common coin, but when you dig deeper, you'll discover why the 1996 penny is such an intriguing piece of US history and coin collecting. So, let's break down the key things you need to know about the 1996 penny and what makes it stand out in the world of numismatics. At first glance, the 1996 penny looks like any other penny from the era. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait, and on the reverse side, you'll find the classic Lincoln Memorial design. This design had been in use since 1959, and by 1996, it was well established. The 1996 penny also follows the tradition of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, a design that would be replaced just a few years later, in 2009, when the U.S. Mint introduced a series of new designs to celebrate Lincoln's life. But here's where things get interesting. Even though the 1996 penny wasn't a particularly rare coin when it was minted, certain features and errors make it a desirable find for collectors. It's important to remember that in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition can significantly impact a coin's value. While the 1996 penny isn't rare in terms of its overall mintage, certain characteristics can make it worth far more than its 1 cent face value. Let's start by talking about the design of the 1996 penny. In terms of its physical appearance, the 1996 penny is similar to its predecessors, with a solid copper content, which gives it that familiar copper color. However, the U.S. Mint had already begun using a copper-plated zinc core for pennies starting in 1982, and this continued in 1996. So, while the coin may look like a traditional copper penny, it's actually made using a combination of materials. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1996 penny so special if there aren't any drastic changes to its design or composition. Well, collectors and enthusiasts pay close attention to certain errors that might appear during the minting process. This is where the real value can lie. Let's dive into some of the errors and variations that could make the 1996 penny more interesting to collectors. One of the most notable types of errors that collectors look for in a 1996 penny is the double die error. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the design to appear doubled. This is most noticeable on the inscriptions, such as Liberty or In God We Trust, where the lettering looks blurry or duplicated. Though the 1996 penny isn't known for an overwhelming number of double die errors, there are a few examples that have caught the attention of collectors. If you happen to find a 1996 penny with this error, it could be worth more than the standard 1 cent value, and in some cases, it could fetch a price in the range of a few dollars or more, depending on its condition and rarity. Another error that collectors often look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted to the edge of the coin. A 1996 penny with this kind of error is more unique, as it's a rare occurrence that adds a touch of irregularity to the otherwise uniform design of the coin. Off-center strike pennies, especially those with a more dramatic misalignment, can fetch higher prices, as they are sought after by numismatists for their rarity and distinctive look. Also, keep an eye out for the struck-through error on a 1996 penny. This happens when a foreign object, such as dirt, grease, or debris, gets into the minting press during production, leaving a noticeable mark or imperfection on the coin. This is a relatively common error, but when it happens on a penny from 1996, it can still make for an interesting find. Depending on the severity of the error, a struck-through 1996 penny might have a small premium over a regular coin, though it would still likely be a relatively modest increase in value. Now, let's talk about the condition of the 1996 penny. In coin collecting, the term grade refers to the overall condition of a coin, and it plays a huge role in determining its value. A 1996 penny in uncirculated or near mint condition is certainly more valuable than one that's been circulated heavily. If you find a 1996 penny that looks brand new, with sharp details and little to no wear, it could be worth more to collectors. On the other hand, a heavily worn penny with scratches, discoloration, or other damage will typically be worth only its face value. Coins in uncirculated or mint condition are always in demand, as they are rarer and more desirable to collectors. But what if you have a penny from 1996 that doesn't have any noticeable errors or unique features, and it's just in decent condition? In that case, the coin's value will likely be close to its face value. The 1996 penny, being part of the larger series of pennies minted during the 1990s, is not particularly rare or valuable in an average state. However, as with any coin, the potential for finding an error or discovering a penny in excellent condition means that a seemingly ordinary coin could become much more valuable. So, what about the historical significance of the 1996 penny? When you look back at the time the coin was minted, the 1990s were a period of change for the U.S. Mint. In fact, the 1996 penny was part of the tail end of the Lincoln Memorial design era. Just a few years later, in 2009, the U.S. Mint would release a series of new pennies to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This period of transition in U.S. coinage gives the 1996 penny a unique place in history, and for collectors, that historical context makes it an interesting coin to have in their collection, even if it's not a rare find. Now, here's the part you won't want to miss. While most 1996 pennies are worth very little, there is one particular 1996 penny that set a record at an auction. You're not going to believe how much it sold for and why it was so special. In our next video, we'll take a closer look at that rare 1996 penny and reveal how you can spot a coin with such incredible potential. You definitely won't want to miss that, so, whether you're casually searching through your change or you're a dedicated collector, keep an eye out for the 1996 penny. Who knows? You might just stumble upon one with an error that makes it worth far more than a single cent. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another exciting video about coin collecting. Until next time, keep looking at your change, it might just pay off.